actually helped me on this one.
Did he really?
Yeah, he put in all the hair.
Did he enjoy himself?
Oh yeah, and then I went in with the highlights, but he did the bulwark of getting all that hair in there.
Oh, boy. And I like this Maryland as well. And,
Well, this, I found, I mean, what I like about this is that I was trying, like, the other one is more like the, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, from the old publicity stills, right? Her image that she projects. But I wanted to get past it. I really wanted to get past that surface Maryland shtick. And so I saw a photo that was captured of her when she was leaving the psych ward. And I found it to be the most open her face was out of anything I've ever seen.
My father was her chauffeur
Wow.
for a summer
What a
out
trip.
west when she was filming the movie Niagara.
What a trip.
So for 4 months she was married to Joe DiMaggio at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And, you know, so when filming would wrap up, they would, my dad would drive her to his trailer, like the cabin he was staying in. She would go in, but she would always say to my dad, you know, wait right here. And 3 o'clock in the morning, she would come out, get back in the car, and he would drive her back to her room. She never spent the night with him. And the whole, you know, whenever he would come and visit, we'd have time.
Wow.
I always thought that was quite interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
She has some connection to this building,
No kidding.
having to do with that movie. I don't know if she stayed overnight. I don't know if she just was in it, but I know John knows. He's proud of it.
fantastic. I like seeing that these guys, Courtney and Kurt, on the wall here as little complementary pieces to one another. What would the, so this was, one was done a year after the other one?
Yeah, it looks like it was.
94, 95?
There's a nice little story about the Courtney. At one point, and this might have been 94, I went to New York for some reason and visited the offices of Rolling Stone. And they told me immediately about the story that Courtney had been in the week before. And the first thing that she said when she came into the art department was, "That artist isn't going to pay me, is he?" You're not going to let that artist pay me. And actually, it wasn't until the other Courtney that you saw, which was, I don't remember where it is. The crazy, oh, is
Oh,
it
it's
here?
right behind here. No.
I think it's here. Yeah. So this is 2010. So we're talking quite a while later. This is the first time,
So it's a 15-year difference.
this is the first time that,
Here, Mark, why don't you come over here? You can-
15 or 25?
Uh,
10, and that was 95, 15.
15 years?
15, yeah. So, but this was the first time Rolling Stone had asked me to do her. But that painting that I did of her was not long after she said that, and it was for Us magazine, which is the same publishers,
Oh.
Winter Media.
Any concept of what she, after having said what she said in those days, of what she feels about any of these things, and especially since you painted her husband an abundance of times? Do you ever hear anything? Any feedback?
No. It's very, very rare that I hear feedback from anybody except when they want to buy the painting, which is the best kind of feedback. I did hear feedback once from Bill Gates. I did a crazy piece of him in Fortune magazine. And then he sent a memo to the editors. How do you expect to sell magazines using this kind of stuff in it? Which I also took as a real feather in my cap.
Hold on, he's that square? That's
Oh,
just...
this was in the 90s.
Oh, that's,
You know, maybe his wife has.
That's embarrassingly square.
Yeah, I know.
That
I know.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
This was fun. This was Mother Jones back in '96. This was Mother Jones, and I was doing a lot of Clintons then. But this was a right on the cusp of the time when things were changing for people in our business, because if you're caricature could be attributed to one photograph, the editors were not going to go for it because, the thinking that the photograph could sue the magazine and or the artist. So this was early for me where I was decidedly using two photos and melding them together, left and right side. Then, of course, over the years, it became more mix and match, a lot of different photos.
And now you really seem to have a lot of material that you're going to devise your sketch from.
Yeah, and I think over the years, whatever, happened up here, I can get into that mental zone where I can let the blending happen in my head.
Yeah, for sure. What
Which
about
is kinda
Woody?
cool.
What is that, an Observer piece?
Yeah, that was an Observer piece a couple summers ago.
And don't you find that Woody Allen's face now is more interesting as an old guy? Because one of his eyes has started to get the heavy lid going on, and it seems like his whole face is getting pulled down on one side.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of times, well, you can relate to this, I'm sure, but a lot of times you'll do a caricature and then you have a feeling like you're doing a drawing or painting of how they're going to look. Your distortion is, of course, you're pushing how you perceive them, but you also have this sense sometimes that you're capturing what they're going to look like in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true with Woody.
It is true, and that one eye, that's kind of been freaking me out for a couple of years, because every time I see an interview, I'm like, what's happening with his eye?
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're all aging, so
Yeah.
It's gonna go on.
We all fall down.
Have you seen this piece, Mark? Did you see the Breaking Bad thing?
Oh, I have, I saw it, I saw where it's printed. Where was it published?
Entertainment
Entertainment
Oh,
Weekly.
Weekly.
that's where I saw it.
Yeah, Entertainment
Yeah.
Weekly, yeah.
I don't know what I like more, because I like both of them, but I think that Jesse's face of desperation and breathing in the fumes is really spectacular.
Now I can't remember the show that well, but I did bone up on it when I was going to do this painting. And that was at the end of one season and the start of the other, where he was actually going from, what was his job?
What was Walt's job?
Yeah.
He was a
School
school
teacher.
teacher.
Yeah,
Science
he was going from that into Monster. So you can kind of see,
Yeah.
the shell's been broken and the monster's emerging.
Oh, completely. And it just looks like he's got another, like a pulsating chunk of flesh coming out of the side of his head. And it's just spectacular. But Jesse's face is desperation. Is so good. Did you watch the whole series?
No, I watched up until that point when they had me do it, and I didn't have stomach for it. Jeffrey loved it.
Yeah.
Jeffrey watched it
Yeah,
faithfully till the end.
I know you guys had talked to me, you and Jerry, about not wanting to get too into like the dark stuff.
Yeah.
And it gets really dark. I mean, it's spectacular.
No,
And it
I
makes-
saw some pretty dark scenes.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
And every week you'd be like, oh, like getting a sore stomach watching it. 'Cause
Now this is worth showing you what's going on here. Thousands.
Lord have mercy.
I mean, this goes back to the 80s. Just thousands and thousands. Wonder what I could find at random. Hey, cool. Hey, these were some really quick figure drawings in my apartment in New York.
Is somebody trying to contact you for it?
That's a good question. Let me
Why don't
see.
we check that?
Wow. Okay.
I just realized who was over here. Do you know him?
No, I don't.
Have you seen his house?
I've seen pictures, yeah, I've seen pictures.
When Coco, when I took her to her first trip to New York City, we went and fly and looked at the.
Ooh, this is sweet.
Oh, hi.
There's the sketch for the,
Okay, can you talk about that for a second?
I don't know what I would say, but it sure is in nice shape.
Would this have been one of how many, do you think, preliminary things before you decided to go to your
Oh,
final?
check out those lines. Yeah, this probably would have been the final, yeah, this would have been the final pencil before that really quick, simple painting. But there are, I don't know,
How many sketches do you have in total, do you think?
I would say over 10,000. And what's great is that they've, all been preserved so nicely. So it's all the way back to high school notebooks with doodles, all the way. Oh, this was cool. Do you remember Slate? This was the first cover of Slate.
Hold on, am I imagining, is it watercolor, gouache?
It's watercolor.
Watercolor.
It's watercolor, and of course they didn't have a big budget, but they were paying me. This was before Slate, when Slate was free, they were paying me to do work for them.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh. It's Jeffrey.
Oh, say hi to Jeff. That is so nice.
What I like about this one in particular is it's watercolor I find to be a very difficult medium, but I felt like I was really loose here. So loose that this was an accident. And
That's a good accident.
and it's like you can't make that up. You can't make it up. You also can't get rid of it.
Your crimson here around the eye going into the cheek, like that is a perfect watercolor splash right there.
This was a lot of fun.
You
So
get the nice variation, like coming to here, that hard edge, and then where the water pulls it into right into the little dry speckled bit there. Just glorious.
all accident, but this was one example of many publications that, would hire me over the years, particularly the earlier years, where they were doing something new, they wanted to call attention. So this was when Slate was like the first online magazine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was, okay, let's see what's going on here. Let me just ask him how.